Hey everyone, John here from School of Trade. Today we're going to be taking a look at a short trade here on crude oil, one of our favorite setups that we talk about a lot in the chat room. And that's going to be a crown reversal. Now, for you members, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Beautiful entry. Now, the actual entry triggered a lot lower down here at 73, but the way that it's setting up with the amount of whip that we're getting back and forth, I opted to see if I could get a better entry, and I was able to get in at 81, just kind of locking in as it went higher, and it triggered me in here at 81. So I'm going to put my stop above the highs here. And we're going to be looking for a downside move. Now, this downside move, primarily looking for a relatively decent drop. We have a really nice move to the upside here. We have a beautiful trigger, a phenomenal entry, getting entered in all the way up at 81 instead of selling all the way down here at 73. That gives us about 7 ticks extra on any profit target that we take. So really nice area to be getting in. The downside target, first off, I'm looking for the lows of this move to get tested. So I'm looking for right around 52. For that first target, I'm going to take 2 off there. And then the final objective, if this really wants to run away, we're looking for a move down to fill 43, 18, and 17, those big areas of support. So I'm going to look to lock in the last one here at 20. So plenty of downside room, beautiful entry on it, everything setting up exactly the way that we want to see it setting up. Now we just have to wait for the sellers to step up to the plate and drive this thing lower. Now, the overall movement that we've really seen so far this morning has been all over the place. Big up move, big down move. Now we've got a big up move, and we had this massive spike higher with not really any follow through, right? That big move up went into a doji. When the buyers had a chance, they had a small inside pretty strong bull bar and no follow through again. So we can see that the buyers are somewhat giving up. And that's a really good thing, looking for a short going against this. I don't really want to call this a trend anymore. We've been in a range for about 2 hours. So this range that we're seeing right now, I'm looking for this to break down and inevitably looking at this ending up as a spike in ledge formation, which is why the larger target is down here at 43.20. So everything lining up really well. Beautiful follow through candle there. Now we just have to wait for the sellers to show up to the party and drive this thing lower. Sellers pushing down very aggressively, nearing our first target. We actually came a tick away. Now, because we came a tick away from this, I want to make sure to reduce at least some of the risk just in case this reverses all the way back up against us. I don't want to take a loss on this trade anymore. So I'm going to go back, drop my stop in at 78, so that way we lock in some profit. And then if we can get that target filled at 52, then we're looking for the downside move down to 43.20. So beautiful play on this move lower. Failure from the buyers at the highs, very obvious failure from the buyers at the highs. And when we see them turn around like that, that gives us a gorgeous reason to jump into the short side and drive this market lower. Now, in terms of the targets, we've come 1 tick away. We should be able to get it because the main objective for sellers likely going to be down at this swing low area, and we're ahead of that swing low. The main thing that we're probably seeing some support off of is directly to the tick off that prior swing to the prior swing. We can see that level acted as support before, so it's likely where you're seeing a lot of buyers and sellers kind of duke it out. I am looking for that to break down, but that's probably where we're getting a little bit of the bouncing from. Now, the next target at 52, if we can get that filled after we're looking for 43.20, you could opt to front run a little bit further and say, well, you know, we saw a lot of bouncing ahead of that level. You might want to drop your limit there instead. And that's not necessarily a bad idea. The reason why I'm looking a little bit farther down to 43.20 is primarily because this 43.17 level has been acting as a huge magnet for the past week. It keeps sucking price down into it. So if we come close, you know, if we come down to that low at 43.23, you're almost close and too close where you get that gravitational pull and it sucks that price right back down and gets that test to 17. If we don't get that pull where it draws that price down, then we will definitely be looking to just take the profit where we can get it. It is a runner. That's the main goal, right? Get a nice runner target out of it. So 43.20 primarily just because I'm looking for that 43.17 to draw price into it. If they can't do what we're looking for there, then we will just exit a little early. There we get our target filled. Beautiful. Let's get the stop down to 1. And now we have all of the risk locked out of the trade. We have our first target filled. We're looking for 43.20 next up, down towards that major area of support. Seeing the sellers poking their head down through the lows again, we want to reduce all of this risk on the trade. I don't want to give any of this back. Beautiful run to the downside. Now I'm looking for that 17 level to really draw price in. We're testing that 23, 24 area right now, so I really do need to see us crack through this level. If we are unable to do that, we'll just exit early, knowing that we're probably, even though that is a big magnet area, we may bounce first and then come back down to it. So we have to be cognizant of the fact that, yes, we're looking for price to get magnetized to that 17 level, but it might not, right? So that's something that we have to keep in the back of our minds. I've got my stop locked in at 43. I may tighten it up a little bit closer here. We came down to 43.22. Our target's at 20, so we came 2 ticks away, not the 1 tick that we normally like, but with such a strong down move, I really don't want to give any of this position back. So I'm going to lock my stop in nice and tight at 32, knowing that we're hitting an area of support. I do want to see it break, but if it can't, I don't want to give much back on the setup either. So 43.32 is going to be the stop. Our entry was at 43.81. Beautiful reversal off of those highs. Now we just need to see if the sellers can finish the job, get that drive down to 43.17, and get everybody filled down here. Very likely we're already getting a lot of sellers getting filled that were maybe a little bit more conservative, getting their targets filled around 23, 24, 22 in that area. Now I'm looking to see if that gravitational pull will force the market down, get our targets. Otherwise, we'll look to get out a little bit early. There we go. Beautiful move down. We get the target filled. That's that little pop that we were talking about. Notice what it did. It came down, hit it to the tick. And now we're starting to see a massive amount of buying pressure coming back in again. Not a big surprise. I think a lot of people are on the same boat as that, but it definitely pressured us a little bit. Came back at decent ways very near the stop before getting that final move. And that might have been all it took just to scare some people out before that drop. But we got that target. Beautiful move down. Phenomenal setup. And that's going to do it for me. So if you have any questions about it, feel free to send an email to School of Trade. Don't forget to check out our trial at schooloftrade.com. And as always, we'll catch you next time.